It is another beautiful fall-like day out here on the shores of Kentucky Lake, and for that reason today I'm taking out the kayak. Now, while this isn't going to be a kayak fishing video, it is going to be a video that you guys have asked for quite a while, and that is kind of a walkthrough slash tour how I rig my kayak up to fish lakes, lake like Kentucky Lake, the 1,000-acre lake that I've fished before, backwaters, just a little bit of everything. So sit back, relax, and I'll show you every little thing that goes on inside this kayak. This is the Bass Pro Shops Ascend 12T. It's a pretty basic kayak. There's not a whole lot of, you know, awesome features that come with it right out of the gate. We'll go over some of the features it has in a few moments, but this thing is a pretty just general, I wouldn't call it a cheap kayak, but it's an affordable style kayak that gets you where you're going, keeps you stable, and gets you out on the water. If we're going to tour this thing, we're going to start from the front. This is the front of the kayak. There's some bungee cords here, which I strap you guys onto. There's a nice handle for grabbing it and moving it. And then I've attached this thing to drag it with. Not really sure how much, you know, that hurts the kayak with it being attached to this bungee cord. I could put it somewhere else, but that's pretty much the front of it. It's not very, you know, wide. It's teed off. It's a very aerodynamic style kayak, and that makes this thing up and move. This thing is a giant tank, but it's an aerodynamic tank. And I think for some reason it helps me get better gas mileage whenever I have it on top of my truck. Does that make sense? Probably not, but it is what it is. One of the things I really love about this thing is it has a place for you to put your paddle. This is an awesome little rack. It's made out of plastic. I don't know how durable it is, but I've yet to actually break it. It also comes with gear tracks for you to put things. I could put my camera on here. I could get a track for that. Another paddle holder. I could even put my depth finder up here. It makes this a very versatile kayak. You can do a lot of stuff with this little gear track. One thing I wish that they did do different in making this kayak is put more, like put one up here and put one running in the back somewhere for cameras and such. I've also got foot pedals right here, places for you to hold your feet at. I keep mine pretty short because I like my feet kind of bunched up to me. Gives me more power, more torque, I guess, something like that. Right here you have a little storage compartment. This is not dry storage. This gets pretty wet on the inside. It goes all the way through the kayak. There is a dry storage place up here. I'll show you that in a minute, but this is where I keep my depth finder battery, my cables, everything for the depth finder goes inside of here. I don't put plastics, I don't put any type of lures. This is just specifically for my battery and my cables. Right here you have the dry storage compartment, and let me tell you guys, it is not very dry. In fact, it gets very wet. I don't keep much in here, but it's there if I need it. Right now there's some old treble hooks and another clip for the kayak and what looks to be some spot removers. Those have been in there probably since I got the kayak, but that's there if I need it. Sometimes I do stick a camera in there, and there's also a really fancy cup holder right here. I don't know if you guys can see that. That cup holder's probably never gotten used ever. This right here is the bread and butter of this kayak. It helps me find offshore fish, like on lakes like Kentucky Lake and stuff like that, places where fish tend to hang offshore. This is a Raymarine Dragonfly 7. It's got down imaging sonar, and then it has a Navionics card with GPS to show me where I'm going. It tracks where I've been, and it helps me, you know, find these fish, find these schools of fish that generally are on this lake. Seat is not very comfortable, guys. I can tell you that much. I wish that they had raised it. I wished it was a raised seat. Give you a little bit more, not so much stability, but more power whenever you're paddling. I have a marker buoy right here for finding fish. Whenever I finally get some, I throw this out. That tells me where they're at, and I can kind of position myself to catch more fish. Have my life jacket here. This is an older life jacket. I need to update it. But guys, let me tell you, on a kayak, safety is number one. You need to have a life jacket at all times, and that's why I carry one. I usually keep one on, especially if I'm in open water situations like that over there. I would never go out there without some sort of PFD device. There is two rod holders that are built in. I keep two rods there usually. Sometimes I don't keep any. Sometimes I keep them up front with me. And then there's my boxes. Now I have those boxes just sitting there, but usually I have like a milk crate or something right there to hold them all in, and that also serves as another rod holder if I want to hold another rod. Usually I only take 2, maybe 3 with me. If I have a third one, I'll stick it back there, or I'll keep it underneath my seat facing outward. And I wish that they had put just a little bit more rod storage. You can use these gear tracks right here to actually attach another rod holder, which is nice, but I don't use them for that, and I probably never will actually use the gear tracks on this specific kayak. Behind that, I have this bag. This is a Kayak Gear dry bag. That's where I keep all of my plastics. Usually I'll stick a mystery tackle box or something else in there, and that's pretty much where all the soft baits go. The rest of my boxes are crankbaits, jigs, terminal tackles, stuff that I can't fit inside this bag. And if I don't carry the crate, then I just stick them right there under those little ropes. And then I have those bungee cords right there if I need, in order to hold this thing down if waters get rough. That's one of the things I like about this kayak. It does really well in rough water. I don't have any problems with it whatsoever. It's actually pretty stable to be as cheap as it is. It's not like a Walmart cheapie. It's actually a pretty, good kayak. I can stand up in it. My buddy Chad stood up in it. He's a bigger guy. And I can even hold Sabrina in here with me if I want to. She can sit up front and we can both chill out in the kayak. So guys, that's a basic rundown of my kayak. It's nothing special. I've added, a few things like that depth finder and a rope, just odds and ends, stuff that you can add on later that it doesn't come with. And it's a pretty good little boat. I don't make enough videos on it. I really wish I did, because it's been a good boat to me. I've had it about a year, and I really like it. It's been a good little kayak. It's definitely not a Hobie. It's not, a new canoe or something like that. It's not a high-end kayak, but for what it is and how much it costs, it's a good kayak. It retails for under $1,000, which is nice. And yeah, in my personal opinion, it's really hard to find one that's, that nice. I know that there's some new ones coming out that have just come out actually that are really nice from, not Jackson, I forget the brand, but other companies make a good kayak. This thing is definitely not trying to compete with them. It's in its own little world. For somebody like me, it's perfect. That's all I've got to say. That's all for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you kind of got in my mind a little bit on how I like to kayak. And yeah, that's about all I got for you guys today. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you right here next time.